Bonsoir! Yeah, bonsoir, huh? Welcome. So, welcome to you, most of the workshoppers and the kids that you are all are. Let me get this fixed. We are now live, and this is the Vintage Kids episode 22, Andor episode 5 and 6. Donc, bienvenue à cet nouvel épisode de Vintage Kids. J'espère que vous allez bien. I hope everyone's doing great. Bonjour Audrey, c'est ma blonde. Hello Joe, salut André, salut André. Malade d'intro, hey, merci man. J'espère que vous allez tous bien. I hope you had a great week and everyone is healthy and in perfect shape, just like me. My shape is round. So this week, we're gonna go through episode 5 and 6 of Andor. So if you did not watch episode 5 and 6 of Andor, well, go do something else. Or I'm gonna spoil it to you. Donc, si vous n'avez pas encore vu cet épisode 5 et 6 de Andor, je vous invite à faire autre chose ou bien de revenir plus tard parce qu'évidemment, l'épisode va être disponible sur YouTube. Là. YouTube, le- yes. Donc, yeah, the episode will be available on YouTube if you have not watched 5 and 6 of Andor. This week again, I'm gonna go do my thing, my thing, my thing. I'm gonna do my thing and show you these pictures as I go throughout the day, the night, this evening. Donc, je vais pouvoir vous montrer les images. I saw 5, but not 6 yet. Well, my friend, you're gonna have to leave midway through this show. I'd come back later. I'm gonna still love you anyway. So, go watch episode oh, je pensais que c'était Joe, c'est ma blonde. Ouais, ben, mon amour, il va falloir que tu t'occupes autrement. C'est ouais, fait que c'est ça. Donc, je pensais que c'était Joe qui avait marqué ça parce que je vois juste Facebook user, il a fallu que j'aille sur, Facebook. So, yeah, so let's move on with this. Can you review Bob Meets World? That's all my kid had me watching. I have no idea what this is. Uh, yes, it's a good idea. I'm gonna have to watch the show now. I have no idea what this show is. Bob Meets World. Boy Meets World, Bob. Yeah. Okay. During this, if you have any questions, go ahead. I'm gonna try to follow your questions on the comment section. Um, I'm gonna try to do this mostly in English because if I do bilingual episode, this thing will last 3 hours. I'm gonna do my best to go through these episodes. I have a few pages of notes that I wanna share, information on with you guys. Crap, have, to go watch them first. Yes, exactly. I'll follow, yes, exactly, man. They're always available on YouTube right after that, better than mine. They made me watch Dammer. Oh, the Dammer, the guy there in the apartment. Yee. One of our friends got a basement, but that basement looks pretty cool. But the other guy, it's kind of a not sure. Even if you would have some Star Wars Millennium Falcons and Mint and Box, I'd go check that out. But the other guy, oh, he's okay. Okay. Bon, parfait. Donc, si vous avez des questions au cours de la soirée, ne vous gênez pas de les écrire. Je vais essayer de répondre le plus que je peux, évidemment. Je vais faire de mon mieux pour absolument le faire en anglais parce que si je dois répéter les mêmes choses que je vais vous dire aujourd'hui, eh bien, ça va durer 3 heures. Once again, the way I'm going to do this, of course, I'm not here to say that it's a terrible show or it's this actor is bad or as usual. Uh, I'm mostly here to show you guys some things that I saw, some things that I thought was interesting, some things that I thought was really well made, and probably there are things that I saw that are not there. So, bear with me on this. I'm going to do my best to go through all of this, and as like the other ones, I've got visual help. Okay, I can do this. Boop. Oh yeah. Is it better like this or like this? I think that's better. I'm that small, but it's okay because I look thinner. Okay, first up, we've got this picture. This is the start of episode 5. And once again, if you have questions, go ahead. I'm gonna try to do my best to reply to your comments. And also, I'm gonna do my best uh, to if there are things that I did not see, and you think that you might have seen something that I missed, go ahead, let me know. Um, at the beginning of the show, as usual, the music is keeps on getting rhythm, more rhythm as closest as we get to the ice, the more rhythm that we've got. So it's really a trend that we have since the first episode, and I can't wait to see what kind of music he's gonna put at the season finale. Uh, this is our friend Karn, and as you guys remembered, at the first 3 episodes, I said, "This guy is not at his place. This guy is probably doing this for his parents, blah, blah, blah." And, as you guys can see, he's back at home. I presume that this, is on Coruscant, and the thing that I think is really interesting here is that let me go click on the other one, that he's watching through the window, and as I explained in another, episode of The Vintage Kids, when you live on Coruscant, the way Coruscant is built, the buildings are so many stories high. Uh, the richer one lives on the top of the buildings to get some sun. They can have the sunlight. And when as poor as you are going down on the floor of Coruscant. So this shot is pretty much explanatory. That's a word about what I was explaining. Explaining. Yeah, well, okay, that works. Uh, we are thinking that we are watching the sun right now, but in fact, we are not. If you watch this scene closer, you can see that it's actually a reflection of the sun on one of the buildings. So it gives you an idea on how deep he is. He's not like in very poor section of Coruscant, but he is pretty deep because he doesn't see the sun directly. He has to watch reflection. And it also gives, like, an idea of the mental state of this guy because the sun is visible, like, for a few seconds. So it's like if in his life, there's only a few times that he got some bright, moments, some happy moments, like and most of the time during his life, he's been in darkness. And he's been also in the shadow of his parents, at least his mom. We don't know where his dad is. Okay. So that's the, turn part. Uh, we've got this shot where, we really understand what I was talking about, in the beginning. This guy is stuck with his mom. His mom is, like, doing some crazy, psychological, harcèlement. How do you say harcèlement, in English? She's playing with his head, and she's probably doing that for all his life, and this kid is destroyed inside, and you can see, she insults him, she, put him down, she tells him that he's a loser, etcetera, etcetera, and we can see the hate in this guy eyes that's been adding up, for so many years. So let me go to the next one, and it's funny because you got that blue milk from Star Wars, and you've got those, like, those Cocoa Pops, and it's interesting to see, like, real cereals, in Star Wars, and we're gonna see a few things in this show that it's fun to see that they are actually more human. They're not just like characters. They're trying to do their best to show that this universe is a real universe. Anyway, uh, so you can see, like, in these eyes, this guy really, really has his, head, his heart, his mind full of hate towards her mom, and it's sad, but it's let me see, okay, and the funny thing is that at the end of this scene, after she's, been so mean to her son, she actually, like, pushes the fruit, uh yeah, yeah, she's really a good actress, I don't know that actress, I have no idea where she played other stuff, but, at the age as she is, we're probably gonna see her we're gonna realize that she played in different, TV shows or movies that we already saw, but we don't remember. That's often the case. So, after she's been so rude with him, telling him that he's basically a bag of shit and he's a big disappointment, she actually pushes the fruit toward him for him to have something to eat. So it's really interesting. It's, symbolic, the fact that I'm gonna hit you in the face nonstop, but I'm gonna offer you some food because I love you. So that's really a symbolic way that people actually, plays with, their kids' mind, their husbands or wives' mind, friends, people that love to, play around with the head of their friends or family, which is a very bad thing to do. Okay, so, up next, we go click here. There you go. It's pretty interesting to see that the guy's skins I realized that it's not skin, it's scheme, and it sounds a lot like scheme. So, anyway, so, scheme, you can see that he's more and more suspicious of, Andor, and, he asked a lot of questions, and I thought that was really interesting that the fact that Andor kept the gun of the security guards that he killed. Not that he killed, I'm sorry. This is the gun of Karn that he and you can see the logo right here of the security company. So I thought that was interesting. Uh, and then we've got this tattoo that we see on the guy, and this is really interesting because once again, I'm gonna say it now, I'm gonna say it again later, and I've said it already. When there's an empire, when there's um political force or someone, trying to, uh, get the world on their knees in front of them, like they're taking over the world or some countries or whatever, this is something that we've already saw in the past in real life. This is, actually a tattoo that he got when he was in one of the prison of the empire. So this is like a wink to the, World War II when they were, concentration camp, the concentration, I think that's the right way to say it. The dark camps, um, they used to have tattoos, on the prisoners, so, which is terrible thing, and to prove that they consider them like, um, cows or whatever, they're not even humans. So that is an interesting thing. After that, we've got this second tattoo, and it's called, Andor actually calls this "by the hand." And I'm wondering if you guys have read some, Star Wars Legend book. Um, there's actually a group of people that are working for, Palpatine, for the Emperor, and they are called the Ends of the Empire, of the, Emperor, and one of, these Ends of the Emperor is actually, um, uh, Mara Jade, which, she'll become, Luke Skywalker's wife later on in the, books, in the Legends stories. And I'm wondering and if this is a tattoo that he got because he was caught by one of the end of the emperor. So I don't know. This is just something I thought might be possible because by the hand, what does it mean? Uh, Caught by the hand by one of the ends of Palpatine? I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe it is. I'm not sure. Okay. After that, we've got like I said, I'm not gonna tell the story, the complete story of, uh, the episode, just point out things that I thought was really interesting. So, I was really surprised to see that, Mon Mothma actually I was surprised about her husband, not his, her husband, in the last episode or episode 3, I don't remember, and or 4. And I was even more surprised to see that she's actually have a daughter, so that's really interesting. So there's not only like, a little family, a couple, there's actually a complete family with this girl, and it gives even more, um, emotion around Mon Mothma. What I mean is that you have you understand that when she leaves to take care of when she decides be, in the rebellion at 100%. She probably left that girl behind, and his husband, I totally understand. He sounds like an idiot. In this scene, there's a lot of tension. You can see that her husband is not behind her at all, and she's almost encouraging, her daughter to be mean to her mom, but what she actually says is really important. She says, um we know what you are doing and we can see through you. It means like you're doing these things so people can see that you're actually like normal or you're actually a good person. Because so make me think that imagine if his own family actually see through her game, the game that she's playing and trying to hide. For the empire, it's probably really easy to see that she's not doing something right. So that was interesting for this scene. Okay, I love that shot. I love the fact that everything is white. Everything looks pure, but she's in blue. He's in kind of yellowish gold. Everything is, like, super fancy, so you see that by the way, you can see that probably she's in the very high floors in Coruscant. Anyway, love that shot. That's looks great. Okay. Afterwards, we'll go back to Andor, and, there's this kid which I forgot his name again. What's his name? Nemik. So I call him the kid. So the kid actually, show, this, navigation system, that is actually, in fact, if you guys were alive in the '80s and '70s, is actually this. It's a Polaroid SX70, and as you guys can see, it is basically like they actually change a few things, but it really looks like this, and this is do I have the back? No, I don't have the back of it, but I thought I had a picture of the back of this, Polaroid machine. So anyway, so this is actually a Polaroid SX70 model from the '70s and the '80s, and he actually explained that this one. The kid actually explains how the Empire took out all their old equipment and replace them with their own stuff. So the things that you might be able to buy, um, are actually all Empire stuff. It's like if, everyone would be, forced to use, Apple, uh, iPhones, and with the iPhones, you would take out as much as possibilities for you to do things that will give you freedom. You would be stuck by using only what they are giving you. So he explained that, slowly but surely, the empire is actually taking out the freedom of everyone by forcing them to use these equipment that are not as good as the previous ones that were available. I'm gonna make a stupid, remark, but it's almost like back in the days, you would buy like a fridge that will last 50 years. Nowadays, you buy a fridge, and 5 years after you're buying it, it's gonna blow up. So the things that we buy now, they are almost like, how do you say it? They are scheduled to fail. So after that much of a year, you have to buy another one, and it's in the own machine. The machine knows that after 5 years, I have to stop working. Back in the days, things were more, efficient, they were more, reliable, and you would buy one and it will last for a lifetime. Anyway, so and I thought it was a great example also to show why, people like Han Solo are using the Falcon. The Falcon is old, the Falcon is never really working well, and he's always fixing it because he doesn't want to rely on the technology that the Empire is actually offering everyone. So that made me, think right away of Solo and the Falcon. Okay. I also love the fact that the kid is actually explaining, Andor, that the Empire is actually hiding dozens of atrocity that they are doing all over the galaxy because they're only pointing out to one specific thing that will take, uh, all the I'm gonna say the hairspace, let's say, like on the news. It's We live through this also nowadays. I'm gonna give you an example. Something terrible is going on in the world. We're gonna focus on it for a while, but if the empire doesn't want you to keep on looking at this, they're gonna come up with a different thing that looks terrible, like this incredible box of, Kleenex actually moved by itself. Ooh, and everyone's gonna freak out about this Kleenex box, and they'll all for they're we're all going to forget about what was going on a few days ago and where the real atrocity is going on. Anyway, so I thought that was a great way also to explain how, an empire, will play around with technology, with the media, with what they're actually giving the right, for the people to see and understand. And slowly but surely, you're taking out this, liberty of thinking, of, uh, being someone that can, do, things by themselves and figure things out by themselves. You end up only getting feed what the empire wants you to know. Go check this. Everything is under control here. Yes. Okay. After that, this is really interesting because there's a shot where Skins actually, you can see that during all the conversation between, Andor and Skeen, there you can feel like not the hate, but you can feel like the tension growing up. And it's interesting that he actually says to Andor, "Why don't you drink your you don't why don't you finish your milk?" And Andor actually throws the milk in the fire to show him that he's not in the group. "I'm not part of you guys." It's a way to show them that I'm not with you, so I'm gonna throw your food in the fire. I'm not gonna eat it. And the thing that is even more interesting is that we know that this kid actually trusts Andor. At the beginning of the last episode, in episode 4, he actually says to everyone, "I trust this guy. I've got a good feeling about him." So what he actually does, he gets up, he picks up the cup that Andor was using, and he puts it back with in the shelf or in the Le Contenant where every other cups of the group are. So he picks up this cup, and it's really symbolic. He picks the cup and put it back with the other ones because this kid actually consider Andor as a member of the group already. I'm gonna say, "Philly, you're seeing things." Yeah, but you have to keep in mind that in every movie and every TV show, every action of well, most, I'm gonna say 85% of the action that you are presented, to as an audience are decided, and there's a reason why these guys are doing this. Of course, you can, have a few, part that might be ad lib, improv, but this is not improv. This is really something that means a lot. Means that this kid believes in Andor and puts the cup back with all the other ones because he considered him as a member as of the group. Okay. I don't know why I put this on. I'm gonna go. No, that's not right. I'm gonna go. Okay. Interesting thing. It was fun to see like the shape of the temple. I thought at the beginning, I thought it was more of maybe a Jedi thing, but we learned that these people that live on Aldani, Aldani, what's the name of the Aldani people are not Jedi at all. They might be religious, but I don't consider them as Force users. I don't think so. So it was interesting to see not only the part on a maquette, but to see it in real uh, light eyes. After that, you can see that Andor keeps on being a guy that wants to show everyone, like, "Don't fuck with me. Don't play with me. I'm not part of your group. You're gonna do the things that I want, and I'm going to do the things that I want. So you're not the boss of me." And I love that shot when the guy actually tells him, "Put your shoulder back." And for a second time, the first time he let him do it, and the second time, like, "Don't touch me." That's, again, a great way to show that Andor is there, but is not he doesn't feel a part of it. He wants to show it to everyone. Okay. After that, we go back to Ferrix. Ferrix. We're back at the other, planet, where all the 3 first episode, happened, and again, this is a great example on how people that are taking over a country, or in this case, a planet or a system, comes in just like if everything is already theirs. Uh, what we understand here that is that here every people that were living in this hotel, and he just asked, "You want this building to be your headquarters?" Like, I don't mind, I don't care." You can see that the guy, the officer there he doesn't care about this, but you have to keep in mind that they actually took out maybe, 100 people out of their homes, or rooms. So it shows the way that an empire can conquer a place and think that everything's is already theirs. Yeah, Russia. Okay. Uh, Up next, we got this shot. It's pretty blurry, but hey, uh, that's another great example of the things that people might do when they are actually forcing or putting their power over citizens of planets or countries. This guy, this pilot actually do this on purpose. He goes to fly by really close to the people because he saw them, and he's doing this just to piss them off and say like, "Fuck you!" Vroom. Another great example. I love the fact that they are using all these details to show how the empire is bad. Because back in the days when we did not have those live actions or even the animated series, we've been told a few things about the empire, what they did, or we've understood that they are bad. But now we can see little things that they do, like, "Fuck, that's bad. That's not okay." So I thought it was really interesting again to see the empire do those things that are not very good, not really fun. Okay, this guy is pretty cool, and I'm gonna explain a thing here, and probably most of you guys already know, but when you're watching a movie, when you're watching a TV series, as soon as you have a character that talks, they are always introducing you someone that you will see later on in the show. And this guy, you understand right away that there'll be a problem with the communication during the heist. Because there's the guy that is taking care of the communication. He got a nice chat with the commander there, blah blah blah. And so keep in mind, as soon as you have someone that a new character that talks, you're gonna see him later on in the show or in the movie. It's just a basic structure thing. Next up, I love this guy. Why? Because first of all, he's like a rookie with only two years on his uniform, but I really thought that this guy actually have the same facial shape, um, not shape, but structure of Tarkin. He looks like a young Tarkin. He's not Tarkin. We all know that he is not Tarkin. But I thought it was interesting to see like deep eyes, big bone cheeks, the face, the hair. I thought it was interesting to see that. Really think that they took the time to make him look a bit like a young Tarkin. Anyway, once again, might be just me. Okay, and something that for the first time we see in Star Wars, we actually see someone taking pills. Uh, there are 2 ways to see this. There might be 2 different reason. Um, is she taking this because she wants to keep awake and keep on working? That might be, something. We all know that this actually exists as a medication, but is it also because she's stressed out and can't she's trying to keep herself calm? Because just before she takes the pills, she actually, like, plays around with her neck thing because it's too tight. So, it was something I think that is something that is really interesting because we understand that working for the empire is not really fun. It's not easy. Uh, this girl, if she has to take pills to go through her days, it means a lot. I thought that was really something cool. After that, we've got the maquette that is actually burning, and once again, this is foreshadowing what will happen to the empire eventually. So, like, it's the first big move, big, attack from the rebellion, but it's the first one that will bring down all the structure of the empire. So I thought it was really, again, symbolic for the, future of the empire. Okay, after that, there's another way, that people do things in cinema and in TV. They will always introduce you the, the set or the places that the action will happen. This is a great example. Uh, this scene is what he's actually saying to these guys, like, okay, and brings a little something to the story, but it's mainly to show you guys where the action will happen. Uh, there's a reason why he's standing right in front of the money there, and we actually also see the money there, and we actually see, uh, when he comes out, a wider shot of this, place where the ship is. So, usually, we're gonna see the set for a few seconds to give you, the audience, the chance to understand when the action will go so fast, you'll know where you are. So this is something that we see in a lot of movies and, TV. Okay, after that, that's the money, and then we got this shot. Interesting thing, the build up between, Scheme and, uh, um, Andor, actually goes right through this shot, and the thing that is interesting is it shows that Scheme is not a stupid idiot. He's someone that already, did this, probably killed a lot of people in the past, because he doesn't just bring the knife, um, and the fried thing, the oui, faire peur, hein, on va le dire en français, là. And or he actually put the blade right to the jugular. So this is why Andor doesn't move, because just by a flick of the wrist, it would open the jugular and Andor would die in a few minutes, if not seconds. So I thought that was, an important detail to give that gives you gives you more information on the past of this guy. Da, 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 da. Okay. After that, this shot I was really, really surprised. I thought it's a great shot. We're back in the bedroom of Karn, probably back on Coruscant, and we right away understand that he's actually standing in his child childhood, bedroom, because there's actually action figures right there, and they actually look like stormtroopers or clone troopers, and I was really, really, really surprised, and it jumped right in my face because this one, I've got this one is actually, from the Clone Wars, and it's Commander Gree. Uh, this is this is the one that I've got in my collection, and as you can see, it really looks like the same action figure with the same gun. Not the same base, but the same action figure. So I thought that was really, really cool. Um, so, I think it's no, it's not the first time that we actually see a toy from stormtroopers, because in Rogue One, we saw the doll of a stormtrooper, lying on the floor at the beginning of the movie. But this is actually, Gentle Giant's, statues. So, I thought it was really cool. I recognized it right away. I've got too much time on my hand. Okay, up next we're back at, Lethan, Lothan, Lochan, uh, and he's actually listening to, trying to catch some, communication to have information on what's going on. for the heist, and I thought it was really interesting to see that. Oh, I'm sorry. We've got a Indiana Jones. Um, I think it's like the second or third Indiana Jones Easter eggs. These things right here are actually the Sankara stone from Temple of Doom that Indiana Jones actually acquires for the villagers. So that's a nice little Easter egg right there. We've talked about these last week, but these one I did not see before. Uh, Another thing that was really interesting is to see that this girl is actually more important, more involved in the rebellion thing because you can see that she's actually put him back at his place. Lethan, Latham, Schlatham. He tells him, "Leave that alone. Do your job and go to sleep or whatever, but stop doing this." And when it and when she wasn't actually introduced to us, it was more like, "She's my helper." Yes, we know that she's aware of the rebellion, but now it's fun to see that she's at the same level or might even be even more higher in the ladder. Can we see this? At l'échelle hiérarchique, of the empire of the, rebellion. That was really interesting. Okay, episode 6. On est déjà rendu à l'épisode 6, so if you guys did not see episode 6, time for you to leave or stay with me. We are heading to episode 6, and this is a really important thing right at the beginning of the show. This is the day, of the heist. So, we know now that Andor is fully in this thing, so he is actually drinking the milk that he throw the day before in the fire. So it's a way to show that he is actually now part of the group. He knows that he's gonna do this. There's no going back from now on. Uh, it's another, great scene with, Nemec, the kid there. He actually explains that, he's writing down this, manifesto and, he did not sleep all night, and it actually explains what he wrote, during the night to Andor. And it shows that even if, he knows now that Andor is a mercenary, still, trust him. He knows that, uh in his heart, in his soul, this guy is a good guy. He's doing this for the right reasons. Um, let see. Okay, so there's also something really interesting, and they do this a lot in movies. They do this a lot in TV shows. Andor gets up and he says, "Empire, you don't mean anything to Empire to the Empire." Not, but he actually says, "Don't worry, you'll sleep when it's done." And this is foreshadowing, sadly, is death. And I I I think during the first is it for episode 4, I said if there's one person that's going to die, it's probably going to be him. Uh, there's as you guys know now, there's a lot of them dying, but they put so many screen time on this kid. He's so important to the story. Usually when someone the focus is on someone so much and, like, you start caring for him, usually he's not gonna end the series well. So, anyway, so he actually says, "You'll sleep when it's done," and that's actually what's okay. And I saw this guy, and, this is, like, the leader of the, Aldani, and I said to myself, "Oh my god, this is Walter White." This guy looks like Bryan Cranston. So I said, for at least a few seconds, I said, "Oh my god, that's Bryan Cranston. What the hell is Walter White doing in this show?" But it's not. He looks like him, but it's not Walter White. but, I would give my money to this guy if I needed some blue meth, that's for sure. Anyway, so that's my little, wink. Okay, this shot is also interesting. Um, I skipped yeah, I don't have a picture of it, but, I'm gonna give you, information. I when the engineer, actually shows up and starts talking with the big boss, that is, on Aldani, I love the fact that he actually explains the way that they can manipulate crowds, manipulate, citizens, people on, from cities, countries, or whatever. Um, it's he's explaining the tactics that they are using, to do whatever well, to force the people that they are actually getting control on, like, that we're giving them so many choices that they are actually don't have any choices, and they think that it's important, but in reality, what they're giving them is bullshit. So, love this. This is really something, once again, that exists in real life. Okay. That's another great shot, and I've I've talked about the fact that they're starting to show, like, in the Star Wars universe, people are more and more normal. In The Mandalorian, we had the toilet. For the first time, we saw a toilet. There's an actual toilet in, what's the name of the ship? Um, what's the name of the ship, of Din Djarin? Oh my god. You know what I'm talking about. There's actually a toilet in the ship. And now you have actually, for the first time, a character that is taking a piss. So that's something also interesting that we've never saw before. It's like, why is Chewie's not wearing pants? Does he even go to the toilet? Well, at least the human are pretty much like us, and they have to go to the bathroom, or they just piss in the wild. So, that's an interesting thing. Okay, next one, love this shot because it actually, uh, give you gives us an image on a phrase that is used was used in the preview, uh, and that we actually hear Andor say in episode 3. He says, "The Empire don't realize they are so fat, they are so proud of themselves, that this guy is actually so fat. He doesn't even realize that he's so comfortable in this position that he gained some weight." So it's directly why we've heard Andor say they're so fat and proud of themselves that they don't realize, uh, they cannot think that something might go wrong because they're so happy where they are that they don't really realize what is going on around. So I thought that was really interesting. Okay. I hope I'm not boring you too much. Love also the fact that, we've got this guy that works for the Empire, and it's nice to see that they are normal people. What I mean by that is that this guy actually has a son, he has a wife, he has to take care of these people also while he is working for the Empire and doing some atrocities. So it's interesting to have more details on people that are actually working for the Empire. So we for the stormtroopers, we thought that they are like slaves and, because like in episode 7, we understand that, most of them, were taken when they were very young to be stormtroopers for the First Order. So I know that it's more explained the fact that the humans are taking over the clones, uh, and that, these humans are actually doing this by choice and are not forced. But Yeah, now have to understand that every stormtrooper, every commander, every moth, every people that are working for the Empire is actually living a normal life with a family, kids, bills to pay, et cetera, probably. So that's interesting. Once again, they're making this Star Wars universe more and more real, more and more human. After that, we've got this guy that actually throws well, it's the leader, let's call him, Walter. So Walter is actually throwing, the fur in the fire. That's a big fuck you to the Empire because you can see that he's doing this to get rid of the Empire. "Leave the site. I'm gonna do whatever you want, but I don't give a fuck about what you're doing, as a gift." So, this is, again, really symbolic of what, uh, the people of Aldhani thinks of the Empire. Uh, After that, we've got, the ceremony that starts, and during the ceremony, it's interesting to see that the beat of the music is going, side by side with the the pressure, the stress, we're getting closer and closer to the big moment of truth and of with the heist. So the ceremony and the heist, the stress level and the music are, it's a crescendo? Yeah, that's it. It's a crescendo, and they are both, uh, getting higher and higher in rhythm at the same time. So, that's an interesting thing that they actually do a lot in movies also. This was not a really a surprise because we were, told by Skeens that he was, Val is actually taken, not Val, the other one I don't remember her name, is actually taken, but now we understand that she is taken by, Val. So, this is not the first time that we see, lesbians in Star Wars, but, it's okay, I totally understand, but to be honest, does it really bring something to the show, except for, we talk about, we're talking about, um, fans, how do you say it? Um, like gifts for the fans, and I'm wondering, well, okay, let's do something for, the LGBT, whatever group, and I told, by the way, I have no problem with that. But again, is it important to show this? I don't think so. Just we understand that the bond between them is really important, but without showing this scene, we could have understand that they are both, not necessarily in love, but they are good friends or whatever. So anyway, up next. So we are back at this shot, because we are getting closer and closer to the heist, and we know that everything will go on in this surrounding, in this set. And since we are now in episode 5, they have to show you, like, for a few seconds to remind you where we are and to show you the fact that this will be the high ground and there is the money and these are the guys that are left. This is the ship. So this is all, um, made on purpose to make sure that when the action will go so quickly, you'll have an image in your head to understand where everything is. This is the reason why they are showing this again. Uh, Love this shot. Love this shot. I thought they did a great, CGI work with the eye, with all the crystals, with all the colors. This looks amazing. Uh, you actually believe it. It's like, yeah, it could be something that actually exists. After that, we've got this amazing shot, and it made me think of, you probably some of you might have seen this. They did a kind of manga animation, Japanese animation of the Star Wars universe, where you actually see TIE fighter pilots going in their ships and preparing things and leaving, but we never saw it in live action. We've always, like, understood that TIE fighter pilots just end up inside their TIE fighters, but now it's amazing to see the structure that they are actually using, what the pilots have to do to get inside these TIE fighters, and what they actually do inside to prepare the ship, just like if you're starting a plane. It's not like press one button and you're leaving. It's like, no, we have to start everything. So this is really interesting. Love also the fact that you got the Imperial shuttle right there on the back. There's actually stormtroopers also over there. So love the details. Love the time that they took to put this to show, like, there's not only stormtroopers coming out of somewhere out of nowhere. There's actually things that they have to do before they are leaving with the TIE fighters. So I thought that was really. So you guys, that's an amazing shot. You've got on the back the eye, all the crystal that flies, and you actually see the TIE fighter pilot getting inside the ship. I thought that was amazing. Uh, when everything when, all shit breaks loose, it's interesting to see that they actually have the high ground, and this is something that we've learned with Obi-Wan, and as we've learned, when you've got the high ground, you've got a better chance to get rid of the people below, um, and this is probably why there's so many people that actually dies in this shot. And why they are having so much problem leaving, because everyone is on the ground. Yeah, so we were talking about foreshadowing the death of this kid, and they did not simply kill him with a laser blast. He's not dead right away, but the funny thing is that what will kill him is actually what you worked to do for so many months, is trying to get that money, and there's, like, 2 sides, um, there's both sides on everything. So, he's doing this for a great cause because he's fighting the Empire, and he wants to cripple them. But what happened is actually he gets crushed by the money that he's coming to get, and he gets crippled. So, and eventually dies. So, this is again really, really symbolic. There's a reason why this was put there, and this is the reason why he died anyway. I was really impressed by that. Also, you've got this shot when, you get this, like, huge shot in the heart, by Val that is actually, reminiscent 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 of Pulp Fiction when, they actually, put the needle inside their heart that, feels about the same way, and the thing about this shot is he's actually screaming to Andor to climb, and if you guys are fans of Rogue One, that's the last thing also that K2SO says to Andor. He says, "Climb, go up to get the to reach the, I'm having problems with my words tonight. The plans, to reach the Death Star's Death Star plans, he actually has to climb. So K2SO is the last help that he gives to Andor, and this is also the last help, the last advice, last thing that he actually says to Andor is to climb, like K2SO. We end up going to the doctor, blah blah blah, and again, I wanted I I looked at his face as soon as he took his gun out. Again, he doesn't blink. He shoots, scheme in, and he doesn't blink. His eyes are open all the way, just like, in the beginning of the show when he shoots, the 2 people. Well, the second one, because the first one was an accident. Anyway, uh, so that's another thing that we see a lot, and I think that also doesn't blink in Rogue One when he shoot the person in the beginning of the movie, I'm not sure. After that, we, see that Val is giving him the manifesto that, um, Nemec has to give to Andor, and, it's something that we probably all guessed that will happen, that would have happened, so that was not a great surprise, but anyway. After that, it was nice to see, to go back to the Senate. So we haven't seen the Senate for a very long time, and it looks exactly like in episode 3, except that we've got the logo of the Empire on every pods. And the other thing that is really important here is the fact that the Senate is almost empty. As you guys can see, there's a few people, there's someone here, but the majority of the pods are actually empty. And if you guys remember, pods each pod represents I think the lights are open on the ones that are occupied. See, I just realized that. So there's more pods with their lights out that there are lights on, and every pod represents a system around the galaxy. So it actually shows that the emperor is doing a great job of starting to put less and less importance on the Senate, that most of the system the people from the system don't even show up at the Senate, and this is probably why he's gonna eventually in episode 4, shut down, the Senate. So, Palpatine is actually working his magic to close it down. So, that's I love these things. These things are like Easter eggs. They're like things that you don't realize right away, but when you're a freak of Star Wars like me, you say, "Oh, it's empty." And right away, you think that that in 5 years, when we're gonna get to the Battle of Yavin on episode 4, what does Tarkin says the first time we see him? We don't have to worry anymore about the Senate because the Emperor just shut it down. So that's it, guys. Whew, that's a lot of blah blah. So I hope you did not uh, thought it was too terrible. I hope you enjoyed it a little bit. I know that a few of you guys are gonna watch it on YouTube. Next week, we're gonna go, and do a regular, Vintage Kids. We're not gonna talk about Andor right away. We're gonna wait, in 2 weeks to talk about episode 7 and 8. I don't remember how many episode it's supposed to be on the show. Is it 8 or is it 10? I don't remember. So, we're gonna see each other again next week. I hope, you guys next week. If you have any suggestions, if you have any questions, go ahead. You can contact me anytime. I'm gonna do eventually in the very near future on Yoda's workshop a live for probably a Black Friday live sale. I did one last year. Um, and as you guys know, on Yoda's workshop, it's not only Star Wars. I put up some other toy lines. So if it's something that you might be interested in starting to buy your Christmas presents, well, I'll do a live sale eventually. Donc, les amis, j'espère que vous êtes pas trop ennuyés là et on va se revoir la semaine prochaine. Encore une fois, si vous avez des questions, si vous avez des suggestions, questions. Je suis toujours ouvert à répondre à toutes vos demandes et la semaine prochaine, nous allons avoir un vintage kid régulier. Nous ne parlerons pas d'Endor. Je ne sais pas encore ce qu'on va être pour le sujet, mais on verra bien. So till then, as usual, be safe, be good, be wild, be you. See you next week. Take care, guys. Bye.